We're in Baltimore as two rivals are set to square off in Game 1. The Valor and the Brigade kick off the AFL season next on Monumental Sports Network. Welcome into the barracks at Arroyo Farms Arena for Baltimore Brigade football as the Brigade gets set to host the Washington Valor. Hope you're having a great Friday night. We're glad you could join us here tonight alongside my broadcast partner, Kadri Ismail. I'm Brett Harrison, Q. Last year, it was an expansion team we welcomed to town. Everything was new. It was a new name, a new coach, new players. This year, 2018, a chance to start anew all over again. A lot of new players for Baltimore, and that starts with their new quarterback, Rainey Hibbert, who is the reigning league most valuable player.
We'll talk about a new player to have on your team when you're looking at the reigning MVP. He brings so much to the table when it comes to his performance and his play. You're talking about a guy who can literally light up the scoreboard. I love his poise, I love his pocket presence, and you look at it. 80 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. He knows where to go with the football. He is a clutch performer, and what a time for the Brigade to have a guy under center making plays for this ball club.
And guess what? The Valor have a new quarterback as well. He has been one of the all-time greats in the AFL. Nick Davila is back, 3-time league most valuable player.
Well, Davila, a.k.a. the Latin laser, you talk about lighting up a scoreboard. This guy knows where to go with the football as well. I think, again, both quarterbacks come with a lot of poise, come with a lot of pedigree when it comes to just awards that they have won over the years in this league. Should be a great matchup between these two.
And when you look at the tail of the tape, we know these two quarterbacks can put up a ton of points. And we have a new member of our broadcast team, and we head down to the bench area and on the field now and check in with Alex Cordry. Alex, great to have you along this season.
Thanks so much, Brent and Q. Well, we know that arena football is kicking off its 31st season, so we wanted to kick things off by telling you everything you need to know about the rules in 15 seconds, presented by Geico. So let's go. Well, each team will have 8 players on the field. The field that they play on is 85 feet wide, 50 yards long. It's about the size of a hockey rink, and there's no punting allowed. Well, guys, for me as a reporter, that's going to wrap it up for our 15 seconds presented by Geico. But when I'm down here on the field, one thing that I keep an eye on is the boundary. So this rule really caught my eye. If a player hits the wall, he's out of bounds. But if the ball is fumbled on the wall, or if it hits the net adjacent to the field goal post, that's ruled live. We're ready for the action down here, but you have a new rule for us to share.
All right, thank you very much, Alex. And as you can see, a couple of new rules expected to pick up the pace of play. Teams now permitted to take a knee at the end of the game to ice the other team. Also, play clock down to 35 seconds. Our sideline guys are also back with us this season in the Brick House. A second screen broadcast on Facebook. Eric Arditi and Brian Black, and it looks like the guys have a new hangout.
Thanks, guys. Eric Arditi here, Brian Black. We're down here in the Brick House at Royal Farms Arena for the first game of the season. Arena football starts tonight. Baltimore Brigade versus the Washington Valor. Big rivalry. You saw it last year in year 1, year 2 for both teams. We'll be here all season long in the Brick House talking about your questions on Facebook. We're taking over your Facebook questions, anything you got on the game, rules, bets, things like that. We're going to be doing it all. Brian, what else?
Hey, big game tonight. We've got a couple quarterbacks that have MVP caliber guys. Nick Davila versus Rainey Hibbert. AFL's all about quarterbacks, and we got a rivalry game here. We got DC versus Baltimore, and then we have a bunch of traders that are just switching teams. So a lot to talk about, a lot to see, a lot to be excited about.
Absolutely. Back to you guys.
And here we go, the opening kickoff of the 2018 AFL season. Brandon Hopkins takes it off the net. Short return, dropped at the 5-yard line. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Baltimore Brigade offense. Rainey Hibbert, last year's AFL Most Valuable Player, led the AFL in passing yards. He was second in touchdowns. He's got the big fellow Rory Nixon, who has his back. And the wideouts, who will start tonight, Brandon Hopkins, Brandon Collins, and Quentin Sims, who comes over from Cleveland.
I think this is a lineup that Rainey Hibbert is going to love. I think both guys on the outside, they are really good tacticians when it comes to getting open in the Arena League.
Hibbert looks deep down the right side. He's got his man wide open and just overthrows Kendrick Ings. And that is his wide receiver who comes over from Tampa Bay. They hooked up a lot last year, 98 times, but this one just overthrown.
Well, this is what I love about Rainey Hibbert. He is not afraid to take shots down the football field. Right off the bat, you just see the aggressiveness. Didn't connect on that play. I know Ings is going to want to get that, but at the same time, you're also talking about the keys to the game now. Here's what the Brigade has to do. They have to play with poise. Obviously, the first play of the game, you saw that Randy was unleashed. He is going to be aggressive. Learn your new role as far as developing chemistry within this group and seize the moment. Who's going to make a play that's going to be that game-changing play?
And through the hands of Brandon Collins, who is in motion. And so very quickly, it is 3rd down and 10 for this Baltimore offense.
Yeah, again, I think that with the Arena able to get that out there. And of course, Ing running a great corner route. Just an amazing job of getting open. This is the arena, and you talk about getting up against those boards. Ings looks like he is a little bit banged up, but great route, excellent throw, leading his guy in there for the score.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Mark Lewis, the new kicker for the Brigade. Straight through the uprights, and the quick strike. Rainey Hibbert had 80 touchdown tosses a season ago as he went on to be MVP of the league. This is his first for Baltimore.
Well, you just love the way he just has that smooth, quick release and just anticipates how to get his guy open. That's something that I look at. Michael Knight trying to cover Ings on the play, but again, you just see where when you have a quarterback that is as accurate as Hibbert is, life as a receiver becomes a lot more comfortable. Unleash Hibbert. We're seeing it on full display.
Earlier this week, the Arena Football League announced a partnership with Vegas Stats and Information Network to make it easier for people to wager on its games. And we're happy to be joined live by Jonathan Von Tobel from the network throughout tonight's game to give us live updates on the line and the bets as we go along. Jonathan, how are we looking so far?
Well, guys, yeah, great to be with you. By the way, excited to have this partnership. It's going to be fantastic. I got to tell you, the first play when Hibbert tries to go to the Ings, you kind of like that because you thought that the connection was going to carry over from last year. It looks like they're trying to force it. You get the touchdown, takes a little bit longer than maybe some overbettors would like. Closed at 95.5. But right now, the Brigade got a lot of money. It closed at a pick after opening up. They were about a 3-point dog. So a lot of bettors on the Baltimore Brigade. They got to like that opening possession.
And thank you very much. Baltimore striking first, 7-0. Hibbert to Ings. Chris Duvall back for the Valor as they get set to get the ball for the first time here tonight. A couple of rivals meeting here. Last year was the Washington Valor. Took 3 of 4 contests against Baltimore. The Brigade dropped their final 5 games of the season last year. So, as we talked about in the open queue, a chance really to start anew. So many new players on Baltimore, only a handful of carryovers. And right off the bat, we've seen what this offense can do with a long strike from the MVP of last season.
Yeah, I think what Omar Smith wanted to do was bring in guys that had talent, but also had character. I know that last year was that building year, but when you go 4-11, things have to change, and I think he likes this roster and what this team is all about.
Boy, that one is up in the air. It is loose by the goal line. Baltimore says they have the football, and they do. Are you kidding me?
That hit off of the upright. It didn't even get off the rebound net. You could see where it was going in between the upright and the rebound net, but it hit off the actual upright. Now, again, that ball is live, and when you have a live ball, you got to be ready to jump on it at any moment. Outstanding job. Right now, I talked about who's going to be seizing that moment. We're seeing the Brigade from a special teams aspect seize the moment. Now the ball's inside the 1-yard line.
And it was quarterback Joe Powell who dove on the football at the 1. Powell playing with the Buffalo Bills last season. He comes in as one of those new players we talked about making a big play here for Baltimore. So first and goal at the 1-yard line. Hibbert under center. Tight formation. Extra big handoff. And Nixon taken down at the 2. Little miscommunication. Let's head down to the bench area and check in with Alex Scourger.
Brent, thank you. Well, after Kendrick Ings scored his touchdown, he limped off the field. We've been watching him on the bench. He's been working with trainers. They've been looking at his left ankle. He's been wincing in a lot of pain, but we'll keep monitoring things down here, guys.
Alex, thank you very much. And one thing that all the teams this year in the AFL have the advantage of having 24 players. Last year, Q was only 21. And Omar Smith carrying 6 wide receivers. A lot of times last year, it was just 4. So he has a few extra bodies at that position. Nixon, handoff to the end zone, stretches out, and he is inches short of a score.
I tell you what, I like me some guys when you're talking about the physicality and just the way in which Rory Nixon runs the football. Nixon last year had a really amazing time inside the goal line when it came to sensing how to score. I can see why Coach O wants to get him the rock so close to the goal line.
Nixon last year, 7 straight games with a rushing touchdown. Hibbert's going to take it himself. Dives. Touchdown, Baltimore. We know Hibbert can get it done through the air, and he piles his way through the final few inches into the end zone for the score. Baltimore, 2 early touchdowns here at Royal Farms Arena.
That's what happens when you have a fumble on a kickoff return, your special teams takes control, gets the ball back for your offense, and Rainey Hibbert, yet again, sensing the end zone, takes it in for himself.
Lewis, high snap. Sticks with it, straight through the uprights. Extra point is good. 14-0 Baltimore.
Just an amazing opportunity to start off fast. We talk about foundations. One of the reasons why the team was at 4-11 last year was because they had not a chance to finish like they are this year, to start off 14-0 against a very well-coached Valor ball club.
It was last year, Q, that Baltimore really struggled getting off to quick starts. How many times do we talk about it? And they would have those moments where they'd have to continue to come back and come back and come back, and it just seemed like it would get harder and harder to get over that hump. We didn't see this a lot last year, getting the first 2 touchdowns of a game and taking in a commanding early lead.
Momentum in the AFL is everything, and quick starts, it gives you such an advantage. And the fact that you see the Brigade up 14-0 so quickly over the Valor, it's about Rainey Hibbert and his experience and his ability to make plays, number one. Number two, you also see that galvanizes guys, and that's where you're seeing next level with the ability on kickoff return to go down, cover the kick, and get the ball back.
One of the cool things about the AFL broadcast, how about the referee hat cam? Yep, he's got it right there on the brim of his bill. And he'll take you right onto the field, and you will see the action up close all throughout the season.
Yeah, I love that hat cam, because we're going to see some close-up action.
Yeah, we saw some really cool shots last year with the referee hat cam.
Yes.
Mark Lewis has it teed up for the Brigade, kicking off to Chris Duvall. 8th year out of Illinois, played for Philadelphia the last 2 years, won a Arena Cup last season. Duvall, little shake and bake, cuts it outside across the 20 and finally dropped. And they will mark it right on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's a huge return. This is a quick strike offense as well. And Nick Davila, you talk about a guy that just senses where to go with the football. You don't want to give him that short of a football field to work with.
Davila, 6'3", 220, 8th year out of Cincinnati. He's a lefty. The Latin Laser sat out last year. He was coaching quarterbacks and wide receivers with the Arizona Rattlers, the IFL, and he is back in the AFL. And his first snap under center, and it is a strike all the way down to the 15. Josh Reese on the connection.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, you know, just a quick strike ability right away. I think that just because you had a short training camp, that doesn't mean that you can't develop quick chemistry with really an amazing group of wide receivers. He has had probably one of the most accomplished receiving corps in all the AFL.
Duvall in motion. And the strike into Rod Windsor. And Davila 2 for 2 to start here with the Valor offense. In Q, these guys only had about 11 practices before this season opened.
Yeah, they did, you know, and I think that that's where you have an experienced quarterback that kind of understands defenses, understands concepts, knowing how to get rid of the ball very quickly for himself. You know, that's what it really is all about when it comes to getting it out to both Windsor and Reese.
Reese was the motion man, and it's a handoff to Will Corbin, the big fella. Goes around the left end, he dives, looking for the first down, and that'll move the chains. 6'6", 315 pounds of Will Corbin.
Yeah, big dude, big C, Will Corbin. That's just running over guys. Yeah, that dude, you know, that's a big carry. Talk about the fullbacks in this game. I mean, both guys, they carry quite a load behind them. Yet at the same time, both quarterbacks are not afraid to get them the football.
Duvall in motion, and he's going to get it easily into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
This is what we're seeing. This is why you get off to such a fast start, because you know that if you get off to a fast start, the other team is now being in pressure to make every possession count. The name of the game is who possesses the football, because at a moment's notice, you're putting the ball into the end zone.
Pat Clark, number 14 on the extra point, former Baltimore Brigade kicker. 89% last season on extra points, and he is true on his first attempt with the Valor. So an answer by Nick Davila, hooking up with Chris Duvall, cutting into Baltimore's lead. It is 14-7 Brigade.
Yeah, just a nice pitch and catch. They had a little pick action for the receivers going downfield, and it was just really nice and easy into the flat. That is one of the advantages of having such accomplished receivers. They really slow play, if you will, everything, allowing for the defense to get over on one side, and then allows for the opportunity to come out into the flat for the easy score.
Never miss a moment if you can't make it out to the game, or the Baltimore Brigade on the road. Stream the game live on Monumental Sports Network. Visit monumentalsportsnetwork.com. After sitting out last season, Q, not a lot of rust on the arm of Nick Davila. Was perfect going down the field.
I think for Nick, you know, it's second nature. Again, you give him great protection. Look how fast he gets rid of the football. One of the things that the Valor staff wanted to do was to kind of give him plays that he really liked and he felt comfortable with. You know, I think that once you start to have an experienced guy, and you can see him talking to his receivers now, it's about, hey, this is what I like, this is how I like to get things done. Guys start to understand their concepts and routes, and that's where the chemistry is developed.
Just saw a shot of big play Reggie Gray, the fan favorite here in Baltimore last year, and he led this Brigade team in catches and touchdowns. Now with the Washington Valor, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of Reggie Gray tonight.
Hey, Reggie Gray, that is one heck of a receiver. I love his game. That dude just knows how to make plays, and it's a bonus when you're sitting there as a staff and you know that you have guys like Reggie Gray. Dean Kokinas, the head coach for the Valor, boy, his receiving corps is quite an accomplished receiving corps.
You imagine this conversation is like with Davila, Reggie Gray, and Rod Windsor. Windsor, one of the all-time greatest wide receivers in AFL history. Those three together, quite a combination.
Unbelievable when you talk about filling up the stat books. You know, as a head coach, you want to have talent, but you want to have guys that can produce with said talent. And you got a trio right there that has produced an awful lot in this league.
Brandon Tompkins off the net. He returned 2 for touchdowns last season. Looks to break out, cuts it around the right side. 15 looking for a block at the 20. Hammered down just across midfield. Great return from Brandon Tompkins.
Yeah, we're looking at back-to-back big returns. One was for the Valor. Short field allowed for some special things to happen and a quick score. With Duvall, now you're seeing Tompkins making some fancy moves as well, getting outside on the outside corner and whoop, whoop. Little block in here, little block in there. Now you got a very short field for Rainey Hibbert and the offense to work with.
Let's see if Rainey Hibbert can make it 3 for 3. A couple early touchdowns here in the first quarter for Baltimore. Back under center, Milton Williams. He is split wide left. His first action here tonight. Collins, wide open, hit into the boards. The tackle made by Josh Victorian, the former Brigade safety.
Yeah, you know, that's just having him go in motion and gaining leverage over Victorian. You know that once you're getting in that motion, you're actually going back over. So you started to your right, you motion over to your left, but you're actually doing a crossing route back over to your right. It just gives you more space to operate. And of course, with Hibbert, that's an easy pitch and catch.
Williams, your motion man, into the slot. And Hibbert wide open is Tompkins. He's got to move, and he's got himself a touchdown. Brandon Tompkins dives into the end zone for the Baltimore touchdown.
Yeah, Brandon Tompkins, my goodness, bro, you make it look easy. Had the big kickoff return, now all of a sudden you get the ball, little quick hitting hitch route, you turn upfield and whoop, whoop, for the score. His coach give him a little love, talking about some, yeah, son, way to make it happen. Just Rainey Hibbert, Tompkins, Collins, all these guys are making it look easy.
Last year, Baltimore averaged 44 points a game, which is low in the AFL. They might get that in the first half if they keep this up, Q.
We need to go ahead back out to Vegas to see what the over-under was. We jinxed them.
Can't handle the snap. And
well, that's part of, you know, that first game mistake as far as not being able to get the ball. Now, you just see where, again, once you get the ball and you're like saying to yourself, I can just go ahead and take this into the end zone. Referee cam. Look at the burst up the field. You put your shoulders down and just dive into the end zone. Excellent running by Tompkins for the score.
Great angle that Tompkins took to the end zone at 13 touchdowns last year, his first year of 2018. Former AFL Playmaker of the Year. He can get it done returning kicks and as a wide receiver. Let's check in with Alex down by the bench.
Brent, thank you. I am joined by Quentin Sims. And what do you like about the way that your offense is playing right now?
I mean, we got 20 points in the first quarter. We can't complain about that. It was a good start for us. Could have been better, but it's a good start.
What do you attribute the quick start to?
I mean, we've been preparing for 3 weeks now, some longer than that, you know, so we just ready to go, fired up.
First game of the season, what do you like that you're seeing from your team?
Hey, this lead right now, you know, it's a good lead, but we got to hold on to it and keep fighting.
All right, thank you so much for your time, guys.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. And another unique aspect of the AFL, we can talk to players during the game and get great insight. Great job, too, by Alex down there. And listening to Quentin Sims, one of those new Brigade wide receivers who comes over from Cleveland.
You know, again, you see guys that they have that understanding of what it takes to win, and formulating this team in such a short amount of time, you have to have guys that want to put in the work, that love coming to work and getting better and having a level of unity and chemistry with one another. I think that's one thing that Coach Smith has recognized, you know, over the years as a coach that has been in championship games. You need to develop that team chemistry to win ball games.
Quentin Sims, great addition Over 1,000 yards last year, 24 touchdowns. Played 9 games with the Cleveland Gladiators. Duvall back deep. And Clark with a kick. Short of the back wall. Duvall bobbles it. Takes it out across the 5 and slammed hard into the boards just by and shy of the 10-yard line.
Ooh, Quentin Sims, well, I tell you what,
We know he's a good wide receiver, but apparently he can lay a little wood as well.
Laid the boom on him. This is what I love about special teams. Everybody, offense, defense, doesn't matter. You're getting in there, you're playing something.
We haven't even talked, we're referencing some of the new wide receivers. Well, Lamarck Brown is one of those new wide receivers, but he's on the field as a MAC linebacker. You know, you're going back to those Iron Man days of the AFL.
Yes.
Big guy can play both offense and defense on the field right now for this Brigade D. Flags come flying in. Let's see what this is.
No, he did it. No, he did it.
Offsides, defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Goes against Baltimore. Justin Lawrence, the nose tackle, 6'2", 305, out of Morgan State. I'm sure he has some friends and family here at Royal Farms Arena. Played his college ball just down the road.
Yep, you got to go ahead and anticipate the snap, but if the ball doesn't go, don't anticipate and go. That's not good.
Reese was in motion. He's blocking. And the completion to Windsor. What a great story, too. Rod Windsor didn't play last season. His only quarterback in the 7 years that he played in Arizona was Nick Davila. I have a feeling he's back playing in the AFL because his quarterback is also back here with the Valor.
Yeah, you talk about an accomplished duo. You know, you have amazing stats. 256 TDs, and all from your quarterback. Ooh, you're living large.
This one goes to T.T. Tolliver. Don't forget about the veteran wide receiver who's going to move the chains with that reception.
You know, it's amazing how many former #1 wideouts that Dean Kokinas has on this squad, and guys are trying to figure out what their roles are as far as who really is going to be that go-to guy. I think that's something that you see with this receiving corps, such an accomplished receiving corps.
Davila wide open. Windsor pushed out of bounds into the boards at the 10. They'll mark it closer to the 9. Big pickup for the Valor.
Yeah, this is where Windsor was the beneficiary of a great strike from Davila, but it was Reese that actually set it up. The defense was sucked in by Reese's quick stopping hitch route, and that allowed the deep over route to come wide open. And Reese and Davila playing pitch and catch.
Brigade lead it 20-7, 12:05 left here in the second quarter to the end zone, and taken down. T.T. Tolliver on the turf, but that may come against Virgil Gray, who was beat over the middle.
Yeah, and that's something where Coach Virgil needs to understand that, look.
He may have felt like he was beat. Maybe that was his only play.
Well, yeah, you got caught flat-footed, and I'm sure when you watch film, the former coach, Gray, is going to tell the player, Gray, listen, brother, you can't be flat-footed in this league. You got to be able to react. You know that he was about to cross your face. Great job of not giving up that touchdown. Man, you better hope that you make a play on this one and get an interception.
Of course, Gray was defensive backs coach last year for Baltimore, now back on the field. And Davila incomplete as he was looking for Reggie Gray.
Yeah, Obi did a great job of defending him and standing his ground. This is where Reggie Gray makes his living, right here in the red zone. He does an amazing job of always separating, but that's just a good play by Obi, knocking that ball down.
Did Obi get away with a little handful of jersey there?
There's no flag, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's shocking coming from a former wide receiver, Q.
If there's no yellow hanky on the ground, I don't know what you're talking about.
Davila on second down. Oh, he's under all kinds of pressure. Davila backhands it over the board, so it'll be an incompletion, but it was Dexter Jackson who was all over the quarterback.
Yeah, Dexter Jackson did an amazing job of, shedding his blocker and putting pressure on Davila, but now check this out. Here comes off the edge. That was just a good defensive play, but now one of them young men that are up in the stands, they got themselves a nice freebie, because if the ball goes in the stands, unlike other leagues where you got to give it back, oh, you're keeping it as a souvenir. You're going home with it.
Jackson, 6'2", 285, deceivingly quick getting to the quarterback. Davila, Windsor in the motion to the back of the end zone. It was a low throw. Did he hang on? Incomplete.
That's what happens when you have pressure in your face and you're trying to get the ball out of your hands. Windsor trying to reach down and snatch that ball up. If you can hold them here, this is again where you're seeing the pressure coming in, stepping up into the pocket, just wasn't able to get it. I think that was the correct call. It just wasn't a completed pass. Windsor had no shot at that. Yeah, you could just see where nice camera work by our guys. It was right there, that ball starts to come out.
Windsor, Gray, Duvall, the wide receivers. Davila to a wide open Windsor. They've done that a time or two. Touchdown, Valor.
What is it, 256 times or twos?
Yeah.
That's an amazing statistic when you talk about just a combination of pitch and catch for a touchdown. This is what the league is about. Anything you can do, I can do better. Fourth down, doesn't matter, we still get a score.
Davila with a strike to his former teammate Rod Windsor so many times. With the Arizona Rattlers, those two hook it up for scores. Snap was low. Clark's kick up, and it is good. So after the touchdown, Davila to Windsor. Baltimore now leads 20-14, 8:25 left here in the second quarter.
We're not done yet. If you think that you thought this game was going to be a blowout, you're sorely mistaken. Things happen so incredibly quick. Davila, the Latin laser, I love how he just looked off the defender and waited for his guy to come open in the middle of the football field. Excellent job.
Let's send it down. Field level by the bench. Check in with Alex.
Q, you all have talked about these revamped rosters. Well, something that's caught everyone's eyes are their new signal callers, the Brigade's Rainey Hibbert and the Valor's Nick Davila. And they're both excited to be part of these franchises and be part of this rivalry.
I just ran a search for you. Nick Davila. Your resume is pretty impressive. 3-time Arena Bowl champion and 3-time AFL MVP. It's not too bad.
Rainey Hibbert, it says here that you were the 2017 AFL MVP. Welcome to the club.
6th on the all-time passing touchdowns list. It's nice.
2017 first team All Arena. I remember my first beer.
8th on the all-time AFL passing yards list. Slacking a little there.
2017 Offensive Player of the Year and Passing Yards Leader. Pretty good.
But that's all history. You're old school.
But I wasn't in the league last year.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
That have really gotten it done for a lot of years in the AFL. The numbers are just staggering. Davila really will go down as one of the greatest under center indoor football.
Well, I just love how both of them, they play so incredible when it comes to, you know, getting their guys involved in the offense. Randy Hibbert, you know, the reigning league MVP for a reason. He just senses where to go and makes big plays. And that's what this game is all about. How can you make big plays? And he just brings it every single time.
Off the net, Hopkins. Got a little running room, breaks a tackle. Cut down just before midfield, but another really good return by Brandon Tompkins, and that'll give Hibbert and this Brigade offense some great field position.
Yeah, again, seizing the moment. So far, we're seeing Tompkins be the guy that seizes the moment and is taking advantage of his special teams play. We also saw what a short pass to him in the flat and him turning it up the field and punching it into the end zone is all about. Brandon Tompkins right now is off to a fabulous start.
I loved how in that feature we just saw on the two quarterbacks where Davila said to Hibbert, you were the most valuable player last year. Welcome to the club. Because Davila's got 3 of them and 3 titles as well.
Yes.
Last year, Randy Hibbert led the Tampa Bay team, the Storm, to the championship game. They lost to Philadelphia. He got there, but I have a feeling he really wants to get a taste of a title, and he hopes to do that here in Baltimore.
Yeah, you know, I think that when you look at this guy and what he's all about, you know that the coaching staff is a high pedigree championship coaching staff. And then, of course, you look at what he is all about. And I think so far, you know, this is a good combination of coach, quarterback, and now quarterback on the field leading his ball club.
And what a big difference from a year ago, Q. Eric Meyer started for the Valor at quarterback. He was hurt early in the season. He ended up retiring. And for Baltimore, they had Shane Carden, the rookie. He was the rookie of the year in the AFL, but hurt late in the season. He also retired in the offseason. And so you had 2 quarterback vacancies. Who would have thought that these were the 2 quarterbacks that these 2 franchises would end up with?
We know that regardless of the league, you're playing football, you have to have that signal caller that has ice in his veins. He is as clutch can be. He knows where to go with the football as far as his decision making. His accuracy is there, and there's a belief that with him, with the ball in his hands, that you can win as a team. And I think both guys have more than shown that. What an opportunity both for the Valor and the Brigade.
And how interesting, Nick Davila last year, the final 2 weeks of the regular season, Baltimore's trying to sign him. He was actually in town. The deal never got done. And then you get Randy Hibbert in the offseason, and Davila goes to the Valor. Hibbert connects to Williams down the right side. Hit into the boards of the 15. Short of, that is a first down. That'll move the chains.
Yeah, I love the pace of the game. I love the fact that, you know, you look at the way Hibbert is just getting rid of the football. There's no sense of pressure on him because of the fact that, you know, he just gets it out of his hands and allows his playmakers to do their job.
10 times last season, Randy Hibbert threw for 6 or more touchdowns. He's got 2 already here in the first half. Motion man is Ings, and Hibbert throws short. Connects with his tight end, Jordan Mccray, 6'3", 315 out of Central Florida. A couple years ago, he was with the Carolina Panthers. And you can see the little nimble toes of Jordan Mccray.
Jordan was able to get that ball by his shoelaces. I mean, nimble is an understatement when you're a bigger fella like him and able to just get down and scoop it right on up. I mean, that was as impressive as it gets.
And with just the 3 offensive linemen, 1 is eligible as a tight end. And you can see as he puts his hand up, he is the eligible lineman, and so then he becomes a tight end. Hibbert, far side to Williams. Out of bounds, going to be a pickup of 8 or 9. And another completion for Randy Hibbert.
You know, again, you're seeing where this team is trying to develop its chemistry, and part of it, it's knowing what the defense is doing. It seems that it's a very simple game. If a guy plays off of you, you expect the ball from Randy. If a guy's playing on you, if you can get open, expect the ball from Randy. Regardless of the situation and what the defense is doing, expect the ball from your quarterback.
Quentin Sims checks in, and it looks like for the first time on the offensive side, Lamarck Brown, and he's in motion. And he gets the football, breaks a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Just a nice play design. Lamarck Brown with the score. Wow.
His 29th career touchdown. The former Tampa Bay Storm takes the handoff and takes it into the end zone. Impressive breaking tackles for the score. Mark Lewis in for the extra point. The snap, Boyd has the hold, and it is true.
Media timeout.
Boy, Lamarck Brown, fourth year out of Minnesota State. Dangerous as a receiver, 66 catches. We saw him play defense as a linebacker, and he can run it too, Q.
Yeah, no, that was just an excellent job of, number one, being patient and allowing the blocking to set up, but then also breaking tackles. Once he got into the open field, it was an easy touchdown for him. Good play call by Coach Smith. You can see where you have your motion guys so deep, but his ability to score was evident.
Let's go down to the bench, check in with Alex. And Alex, you've got the quarterback, Rainey Hibbert. So far, so good.
We do, yes, thank you, Randy. How do you best describe what's working for your offense right now?
We started off a little slow, had to get going there, made a few mistakes, but as the games went on, we've started executing our game plan.
You seem like this has been a seamless transition for you, but what has it been like getting to know your new teammates?
It's always tough early on, you know, coming into a new system, into a new environment. So we've had to really come together, spend time together outside of meetings and outside of practices, but we're coming along.
You have the lead right now. What do you all do to just keep it rolling?
We got to keep going. We got to keep going, never take our foot off the gas, just keep playing, keep executing one snap at a time.
Thank you so much. Brigade fans got to like hearing that, Brent.
Alex, thank you, and he is so right because, Q, this game can change on a dime.
It absolutely can. I mean, this is where you want to have those experienced guys, and you just have that feeling of knowing where to go with the football to those experienced guys. I mean, keeps you in it. The fact that they're keeping pace now, it's 27-14. That's what you want. You want to be able to possess the ball and score. The name of the game, you get the ball, you score, especially when you're up. That's the advantage that you have over your opponent.
It's been a perfect first half so far for the Brigade. A couple of Rainey Hibbert touchdown throws, one to Ings, one to Tompkins, and a couple of touchdown runs. Hibbert has one, and the last one there by Lamarck Brown. Again, one of those new Baltimore Brigade offensive players, and we are seeing a much more explosive offense come out of this Baltimore team.
Well, we didn't know what to expect with such a short practice, but you can see the ability to understand your role and develop very quickly within that role is evident.
Duvall fields this when it was low off the post. Found a small seam, but taken down at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, the indoor game, that's a huge return right there. Just a great
Bailey
job.
And Sims on the tackle.
Yeah, that was one of those plays where you just didn't know whether or not if Obi was going to be able to get it out of the end zone. I mean, that was a great kickoff. It just kind of died as it hit off the rebound net, but sure enough, he made some room with it to get it out to the 9. It's very impressive.
Davila back under center. He's going to go deep on his first try. Down to the 5, hook it up with Josh Reese. He was down as he slid right into the boards.
Wow. I tracked Josh Reese on that play the entire time. And just what an amazing job of running his route, because the Latin laser let that ball go and hit him in stride. Beautiful pitch and catch. Nice play call by Dean Kokinis, the head coach of the Valor.
It's a quick strike. Flipping the field. Valor now inside the 5 at the 3. First down, handoff. Jimmy Gordon just short of the end zone.
Talk about a two-way player. We know that both teams, they have multiple guys that can play a variety of positions. You're looking at Gordon over there on offense.
Heavy look for the Valor because they still have the fullback Will Corbett in. And then you have Gordon just behind Davila. And he'll get it again. Plows into the end zone. Touchdown, Valor.
That's what you talk about when you know that you have a versatile guy like that. And you're right, that heavy offense, that personnel grouping just calls for, hey, let's be physical and just get it on into the end zone. No need to throw it, just get it into the end zone.
Jimmy Gordon, the commish, played tight end in college at the University of Buffalo, so no stranger to the offensive side of the football. Pat Clark, the lefty foot up and good. And so the Valor continue to nip at the heels of the Brigade. Baltimore jumped out to the quick 2-touchdown lead, but the Valor have been fighting back. It's a 6-point game. Baltimore 27, Washington 21. Send it down to the bench and check in with Alex.
Well, 2 days ago, right here at Royal Farms Arena, Brigade fans had the opportunity to come out for open house day. They met the players, hung out with them, got to take a lot of pictures, enjoy fun and activities, and share all the reasons why they love arena football.
Trying to create a relationship between our players and the community, get the community involved in what we're doing, let them know who the Brigade are. Hopefully we win and put some W's on the board, and then they want to come see every game and they buy season tickets and get their friends to come, their coworkers to come. That's what this is all about.
So we wanted to see what was going on and a chance to get to meet some players. I'm starting to get closer to them, so it'll be a little bit easier to say hi when they're out on the field. You feel like you're part of it a little bit.
We need to see something for real. Y'all take some lessons over here.
Every time we come out here and play, we want to have a lot of people out here, a lot of people supporting. So the more good feedback we get from the fans and the fans hear from us, and the more they want to come out and support.
Getting to meet the players, being on the field, it's amazing. Great time. I am hooked on Brigade.
Oh, this is great. You know, it's one of those things where we're trying to build the excitement in the community and figure out a way to pack this house, because we need all the fans to come out and support us as we can get, because this house could be extremely loud and it could be a great home field advantage for us.
You got your work cut out for you this year, don't you, guys? Well, I told Randy, I said, it's all on you. You know, you better do it because they brought you over for a reason. And he laughed. So I think it's going to be a really good year for Baltimore.
Yeah. Hug status.
Yeah.
Hug status.
Love it.
Go Brigade, enjoy it, and realize that this is some high quality football, and we're going to try to entertain.
AFL football, very fan-friendly. Brandon Hopkins on the return, speed, crosses the 5, taken down just shy of the end zone. How great Q has Brandon Hopkins been tonight?
Let me just say the keys to victory: seize the moment, making game-changing plays. That's what we're seeing right before our eyes with Brandon Hopkins, who has lit it up in a variety of ways. And one of those ways is providing field position and big plays on special teams. You saw it right there with the big kickoff return.
Great field position. The ball spotted at the 2-yard line.
His ability to just make plays happen when he gets the ball in his hands is what makes him such an extraordinary player.
One of the biggest difference too in this offense is up front, Q. Much more veteran group when you talk about Mccray, McNeil, and Warren along the offensive line. And we are at the 1-minute warning. Baltimore 27, Washington 21. Let's get an update on the betting line and send it out to Vegas.
What's going on, guys? Jonathan Von Tobel here. So I heard you talking early in the first quarter, the total. Well, the total actually opened up 98.5 out here, got all the way up to 108.5. You got to like the pace that they're playing at right now, especially with Baltimore. The special teams have been phenomenal, getting short fields, easy scores, and quick scores. So over bettors like that. Brigade also got a lot of action. We're a 3-point underdog. They closed as a pick, so all you got to do is get a win if you bet on the Baltimore Brigade. Bettors have to like what they're seeing if they bet the Baltimore Brigade and the over thus far.
All right, thank you very much. That is a great point because of those big kick returns. We're seeing quicker scores. The numbers continue to roll on the scoreboard, and so we're pushing to that over right now as we see 48 points with a minute left here in the first half.
Yeah, 48 and a chance to build upon that. You're right, the over does look really cool, and you talk about a pick 'em. Oh my goodness. You got to feel good if you felt like going ahead and putting down some numbers and some moolah on the Brigade because they got off to that fast start, and so far they have not done a thing to ruin a possession. Remember, possessing the ball is of the utmost in this league. You possess the ball, you get a chance to score.
I think there was a lot of anticipation for that guy right there, number 10, Nick Davila, getting back in the game after taking last year off. He was coaching the defensive, wide receivers and quarterbacks for the Arizona Rattlers. Him coming back into the AFL, the fresh arm, 3-time most valuable player, but he's also won 3 titles. And I think when you look at the betting line, before you really know a ton about either one of these teams, I think he was probably getting a lot of action because of him coming back into the AFL.
Yeah, no, I think that's one of the things about, both teams, that they have quarterbacks that can, make plays at a moment's notice. With Rainey Hibbert, obviously, for the Brigade, and as you talked about it, Latin Laser, the man knows how to make some plays.
Brown back on the field. He is split right. In motion, Tompkins. That's where it goes. A little pump fake, incomplete. The look was to Tompkins.
Yeah, that's one where he was trying to get him the ball, but it's just some good defense. I mean, there was a lot of hand play there that would have made it a little bit frustrating, but man got his beer, man got his ball. Beer and ball. Beer man, ball man. There it is.
That's all you need. That's a good night.
That's right.
Out for a Brigade home opener. Brown's your motion guy this time. It goes to the big fella, Rory Nixon, into the end zone.
Rory.
Touchdown, Baltimore.
With the bigger fella belly, Nixon making it happen, giving a fan a souvenir as well.
Nixon had 10 touchdowns last year, his first of 2018, and that fan is stoked.
Yeah,
he'll take home a souvenir.
He's stoked as well because you're talking about your ball club just getting short fields and, yes, making it happen with the score.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Baltimore now leading it 34-21.
Just a nice little quick pitch to the fullback in Rory Nixon. And now you can just see where the bigger fella just using his speed. I mean, you can be Roosevelt Falls all you want, but that was not a play where he was going to be denied into the end zone.
Nixon considered one of the best fullbacks in the AFL. Found the end zone double digits last season. And Q, who would have thought half the touchdowns here tonight on the ground? 4 passing touchdowns, 4 running touchdowns. 34-21 right now, Baltimore with the lead. 51 seconds left on the clock here in the first half.
Yeah, I just love the way that they are getting after it in a variety of ways. And you talk about, you know, whether it's a rush or a pass, again, very hard to defend when you're a multi-faceted offense.
The only miscue tonight was an extra point after a bad snap that came back in the first quarter. Onside kick, part of the AFL. You will see a surprise kick every once in a while. Baltimore thinks they have it. And the referee says Washington has come up with a football, and it was Reese who fell on it.
Well, I think what we're seeing, Brent, is a little gamesmanship here and trying to figure out whether or not, you know, you're going to take a chance, give them a short field. Again, we talk about possessing the ball, so with 47 seconds left, you have momentum, you have the lead. Why not try to get the ball back? It really doesn't matter the time on the clock because you can strike so quickly in this league.
Reggie Gray motion. Davila looking over the middle. He's going to look for Gray, and he has hauled it in. Touchdown for the former Baltimore Brigade star.
Yeah,
and a little dance to emphasize it.
Yeah, that was a little easy pitch and catch. But that's, again, where you try to get the ball on an onside kick because you know big plays can happen in a moment's notice. And big play, Reggie Gray, with his first touchdown dance of the year.
And Clark strikes it through. Extra point is good. Little pushing and shoving at the end of that one. 34-28, Baltimore at the lead. Take another look at that onside kicking cue. It's kind of like in basketball. You may take that quick shot at the end of a half so you can get a 2-for-1. And that's kind of the attempt that the Baltimore makes, but Washington does a heads-up job of falling on it, and it leads to the touchdown.
Yeah, you know, I think both plays were, you know, opportunities for either team to capitalize on it. Special teams-wise, the Valor was able to get the ball, and as a result, they capitalized on a short field and an easy score. When you look at, again, what we talked about is 2 veteran quarterbacks. I mean, it's taking easy money when you have a short field in this league to work with.
Well, we knew we'd see big play Reggie Gray have an impact in this game. The former Brigade wide receiver just picked up his 238th career touchdown, and he was a fan favorite here in Charm City. The most consistent wide receiver that Baltimore had last year. And goes over to Washington this offseason and already making an impact here with the touchdown late in the second quarter.
Yeah, again, you look at this roster on both sides. It's a roster where lots of turnover and guys are in a short amount of time coming together and playing really good football. This is an entertaining game.
This time they keep it low on the kick to kind of give Hopkins a different look, and he'll give the Valor a look. He was looking for the end zone. Dragged down at the 15.
What a special player. Just when you thought, oh boy, the ball is bouncing around, but I think he set him up. He gave him the old limp leg and just was able to think that you had him dead to rights. But when you got a guy like Hopkins that has great open field running and strong vision, that's where, again, you don't stay in your lane on a kickoff coverage unit. Hopkins makes you pay, and Brandon Hopkins with the big play down the football field.
Hopkins, a 2016 AFL Playmaker of the Year. We have seen why here early in this game. Flags come flying. Looks like it could be an offside against the Valor. Khreem Smith, former Brigade defensive end, now with the Valor, 4th year out of Oklahoma State. He was a little quick there on the edge.
Yeah, you know, Khreem Smith, he knows this Brigade coaching staff well, but maybe not necessarily some of the players, because it's a new look. And again, for him, who former lineman of the year, he needs to have a little bit more poise. But I think with the short field and you only have a few seconds left before half, the mindset is, let me try to go ahead and put pressure on Randy before he gets rid of the football.
Smith had 9 sacks last year. He was trying to get to the quarterback. Ings is in motion, handoff to Nixon, and that did look wide open. He'll go right, just short of the first down, as the clock stops at 29.6 seconds.
You know, what I loved about it was the fact that you have that offsides, and now it gives way to guys playing a little bit more cautious, not as quite aggressive, but that was just a good play call by having a run play followed up after that offsides by Coach Omar Smith.
Final minute, clock stops. And so typically we can see a lot of scoring in the final minute. Already the Valor have gotten it into the end zone on the touchdown toss to Reggie Gray. Brigade looking to answer. Collins in motion. Oh, and Nixon trying to lead the way for his quarterback. Big fella blocking up front. And that is enough for a Baltimore first down. Clock stops, 25.8 seconds left here in the first half.
Yeah, gain enough for a first down. Now you're talking about just a easy push up the field with that veteran group of running back and linemen to help Hibbert get the first down.
You saw the fullback Rory Nixon getting his hands on the old tush there, giving him the push towards the end zone.
Yes. Feel my butt. Do you like it? It's soft and squishy. Let's go in for a touchdown.
Any way you can get it, Q. Big fella getting it done tonight at fullback.
Yeah, Rory Nixon has done a good job. I know that he is a little bit, I'm sure, frustrated when he'll look at the film and see that he gave up a sack as he got pushed back into his quarterback. But outside of that, really just an outstanding game for the young man.
Collins, Tompkins, and Ings are on the field. Kendrick Ings in motion. And Hibbert took a knee. They'll take their final timeout here in the first half. And Omar Smith and his quarterback Rainey Hibbert will talk it over. Of course, Omar Smith, what a resume he has in arena football. Of course, it was a pleasure getting to know Omar Smith last year in that expansion season for Baltimore. But you're talking about a guy who has 3 championships as a coach and 4 as a player. That is 7 Arena Bowl championships.
He knows a little something about playing winning football, and that strategy right there burned the Valor's last time out. Time is really of no consequence when you talk about the quick strike play of the Arena League, but burn that time out. Now it's harder for them to go ahead and get the ball back.
Maybe a surprise, giving it to Nixon on the run as the clock continues to run inside 10, down to 6, 5.
See, this is where you're saying, okay.
Baltimore's first timeout. The Valor are out of timeouts.
Yep.
And so now 5.4, third down, so that's enough time for 2 quick plays.
I'm gonna burn it so I know I get an opportunity to score walking into halftime rather than quick score, keep so much time left on the clock that it gives the Valor an opportunity to score. This is where the strategy comes in this final minute.
The ball resting on the 4-yard line, and certainly 5.4 is enough time in arena football to get 2 plays off. Collins comes in motion. Hibbert, quick strike, out of bounds, 0.9 left on the clock, so we'll have a 4th down play. No flag. No flag. Tompkins and Collins both pleading with the backside referee.
Yeah, I think that they were saying that they were held, and now Hibbert is like, okay, I had my guy, but if he's being held and prohibiting him from being able to get to the ball, that should be a flag, but the side official ruled differently.
Terry Valente there on the boards. Referee with the no call. So 0.9. There's the horn, the throw into the end zone, and it is broken up. And a flag is down. Tracy Belton can't believe it.
Well,
he got his hand on it, but did he have a little jersey on the backside as well?
Yeah.
The ref's talking about it.
I think this is where Terry Valente, she had a great look the entire time as the play was coming unfolded. He's trying to throw a back shoulder pass, and you could just see where there was just no way to get that ball effectively. Milton Williams is trying to separate himself, but he was being held.
Defense, number 6, half the distance to the goal, 1st down. We will have 1 untimed down before the half is over.
Lead referee tonight, Bradley Burnett.
We got Belton on Williams, and Belton just extending his arm and pushing it into the chest of Milton Williams, and that's what drew the quick flag by Terry Valente.
1 untimed down. Hibbert, he's going to take it himself. What a block. Lamarck Brown just backed into the defensive back, and it made a wide open lane for Hibbert to take it in for the score.
Yeah, that's just really nice. You talk about just a nifty play. You know, there was nowhere to go with the football. You talk about just, all right, I got this opportunity to run it in, and sure enough, he did. Watch, nobody's there. Why not scramble it on in? And now you got your guy blocking Lamarck Brown right there. Boop, boop, just a little booty shot. Blocking him out. Allows Randy to get into the end zone for the score.
Oh, and the extra point is no good for Mark Lewis. Lamarck Brown looked like the old Dennis Rodman, box it out underneath, giving his quarterback a chance to get into the end zone. Big touchdown on the last play of the first half. Extra point, no good. 40-28, Baltimore with the lead. We send it down to the field. Alex with the head coach.
Brent, thank you. Coach, first game of the season leading your offense. How do you best describe the play of your quarterback, Randy Hibbert?
He's playing gutsy football. He's doing what he has done his whole career in this game, being efficient, taking care of the football, and making plays when we need it the most.
To score before the half, what kind of momentum does that give you going into the second half?
Well, it gives us some momentum, but it was real critical that we got that touchdown because they get the ball coming out of third quarter, so we wanted to try to step up, stay up 2 possessions, but the fact that we missed a PAT, I'm not happy with.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Guys.
All right, thank you very much. And Omar Smith told me this week that that was one of his concerns. Mark Lewis last year just 74% on extra points, despite the fact he's 88% for his career. And so we have seen that turn its ugly head here in the first half with 2 missed extra points. We take a look at the Mars scoring summary here in the first half. A total of 6 touchdowns for Baltimore. Valor with 4, but they do get the ball first in the second half, as you heard the head coach say. They also had the 1 sack, 40-28 here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, you know, again, a great job of getting a lot of points up on the board. Those 6 TDs are critical. The missed extra points, when you talk about the totality of the game and just the quick strike capabilities that you're going to get from Davila, you got to be concerned if you're going into halftime, you know, feeling like it should be 42 rather than 40.
Hibbert had 2 touchdown throws and a couple of touchdown runs leading the way here in the first half for Baltimore. Earlier this